Hello guys, in this video we are going to create a validator that will allow users to type only emails from whitelisted email domains into a form. So stay with me and see you in a couple of seconds. Okay, here we have a project that we created in the past videos. So this is a just basic form for testing, and we had we have actually a lot of validators here for all of these fields. So the next one that we are going to create is this one for email. So into that one email input field, we want to allow users to type just only emails that are coming from a specific domains. So we can just say, okay, we want emails from Google, so gmail.com or our domain.com or anything we want to. So let's go and see what is going on here. So we have this project that I already mentioned, and we added it in a few videos ago. So if you haven't watched any of these videos, you can pause this one and go watch them first. And also, if you don't want to do that, you can just download the project actually from the GitHub, and the link is going to be in the description of this video. So let's continue with this one. We want to add something here. So let me close the user form and components here. We want to first of all add that validator into our validators here. So we are going to navigate into the app, shared, and the validators folder. Right click here and select new file. In the new file, we are going to just name it email validator.validator.ts. Okay, as I mentioned in the previous videos, so as I have just this one only function here, I'm going to export it as a default function. If you have more of these, you can just export them one by one or whatever you like to do them. Okay, so export default function, and we are going to call it email domains validator. So this email domains validator is actually going to receive a one parameter that is actually allowed domains, and that allowed domains is going to be a string array, or actually array of strings. Okay, and we are just closing this and opening another here. But before that, we want to say that this emails validator is actually type of validator function, and that validator function is expecting from us to return validation errors, or actually validator function. So adding this here, return, and we are receiving here as a parameter control actually, so form control of the field that we are validating. So control, that is type of abstract control, and this method is going to return validation errors. Okay, this one here, or null. This depends on the result of the function. And right now we can start typing here. So before I do anything, I'll just return null here. And just like to see what's going on. Abstract control. Have we imported this? We haven't. Okay. And now the first thing here. So our email address that we are getting actually from the input field is this. So const email equals control dot value, and that's it. So this is our email from the input field here. Another thing here that we want to do is we have to check if there is actually an email address. So if email, then we are going to validate this field. Otherwise, we're just going to return a null here. So when we return null, that means that this field is actually okay. So, for example, just let me move this. Okay. So, for example, if we are checking this form field here, and we say, okay, we're returning null. That means that we don't have to return validation errors here. So, because we don't have validation errors, and then we are returning this null. That means the form is correct. So, there is no errors here. Okay. If you like the video so far, please consider subscribing to my channel for more content like this. Thank you. Now, we're going to say if there is an email address, actually, so somebody typed something, we're going to do the following: const domain, and we are getting that email and doing substring, and substring is going to well, let's say cut this string from a specific amount of characters to the right. So end of the string will be removed. We will just get the strings from the back of it. So actually, let me explain you. So okay, substring. We're gonna open this one here. So we are having, for example, here in this substring, so we just have a Mozilla, and we want to do the substring here, and we're getting the like from first to third. So we're getting the everything from we are getting just the first and the second parameter. So it is going just like 1, 2. So in between the first and third. And if we say substring just one number here, just one parameter, it is going to get from that parameter to the right. So in this example, from 2 is going to just return Zilla, because the 0, 1 and the second. Okay. I hope this is clear. So we're going back to the code. So we are going to email substring, and we need some number here that will tell us where is the actually domain name here. So we are checking the domain. So to get that, we're going to do the following: email dot last index of and at character +1. So why are we doing this? Let's say that we have like here some domain or something at some domain.com, and this getting the last index of at. So there could be something that somebody added like this, but we want to get the last index, so this is it here. So the last index is 1, actually 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the last index 4. And now we're adding +1 because we want something after this. So we don't want to include this one here. So it is getting this. So using our substring here, we are actually getting the somedomain.com as our domain. So this is the step, the final step of this domain here and this calculation here. And after that, we're going to check if domain is actually allowed. So const is domain allowed means allow domains. So this is actually our input property here, array of strings. Allow domains includes, okay, if allow domains includes a domain that we added here, then that means that domain is allowed. So Another and let's say final step here for this email validator is to return is the main allowed. So if the main is allowed, we're going to return a null. That means that there is no errors and we don't have to return this validation errors function. So otherwise, we're going to return this. So email domain. We're just going to call it as object key, whatever we want. You can call it anything, but you will need to know the name because we are accessing this from our template part to show the errors actually. So we're returning this, and we are also returning here another object that is actually allow domains and actual domain. That is actually our domain. I'll just format the code. So we can see this here. This is our email validator that will help us validate email domains. So now we are going to a user form here. So first we're going to components here, and we're going to find email here. So right now we have some validations. So the first validation is that this field is actually required, and the second validation is actually that email is required here. Actually, that we're checking is the email correct. So this is checking if email has @ character or disallow local. You can see here disallow local part to be longer than 64 characters or anything here. So you can get that information there. But this is a default and generic email validation from Angular. And next to this, we're going to add our validator that is actually email validator. So email domains validator, and this email domains validator is expecting allow domains array of strings here. So what is that? Here, under these here, I'll actually add another one. So it is going to be allow domains. Actually allowed emails maybe. And this is just going to be array of domains. So email domains. Okay, we can call it like this. And then I'll just add, for example, gmail.com or our website, so our domain. .com. And this means that users with this email addresses are allowed to register on this website here. This doesn't have to be like just for registering. We could do this for validating some input fields that are just actually, let's say we are creating something to fill the data for to a form, like we're just adding data in a bulk or anything, and then we just want to add these allow users to enter just, or data typers to enter just allowed email domains. Otherwise, we will consider this email that is not correct, so they'll get an error and they'll be not able to enter them. So we're just missing this. Okay, and now we can see that we have 3 validators inside of this email. So hitting save means that we have completed the user form component here. And then we're going to the HTML part. That is actually kind of important here, because that's the way where we are actually showing the validation errors here. So we already have this email validation here. Let me find it. Okay. E-phone, credit card, password. Here's up. Okay. Sorry. Email. Okay, here it is. So we already have this email form here, and the validation that is actually checking if the form is invalid and actually touched. So that means that we're going to show the error that this email is required. as we are having this required here. And also we're getting this one here to show the email here. So if the email is returning the email errors, that means that the email is not valid. And the next one, we are just going to copy this here, paste it down below. Then I'm gonna say here, user form get email errors. So if there is an error object, and instead of email, we are just going to use our domain here that I mentioned earlier. So our email domain, paste it like this, email domain, and we can say the following as email errors. So we're getting this object here because we want to do the following thing. Instead of this, we are going to say, please use allowed domains only. So please use allowed domains only. So a user wants to know which of these emails are actually allowed. So we can say the following. Okay, at 4. And now we are going to loop through address, actually, or we can call it domain of email errors that allowed. So just let me check. Allowed domains. Allow domains here, and then we're going to add track by index. Okay. And now here we are going just to add this small, and we'll just count the email actually domains. Okay, domain. So this is going to just loop through the email allowed email addresses. Why are we adding it like this? Because we want to show any number of email addresses that user adds, that we create there. So we could also, but depending on your setup, we could also create this email address there. Sorry. The email address here, the allowed domains, actually from the user component here, because we already added allowed email domains. But if we get it from anywhere else or any way else, we could just get it from the errors itself. And also I added another one. We could just get the actual domain here, that is actually our domain here. But maybe we don't need that because we already know which domain user entered because it has that input field there. So hitting save, and now we're going to test this functionality actually. So closing this, and we're gonna touch this and remove, and then it says email is required. Then we're gonna start typing a, and it says, okay, please enter a valid domain, valid actually email. Please use allowed domains only. Gmail, ourdomain.com. So I'm just gonna add something, and this first email validation register that we have like email address here, actually, because it's just formatted as email. It doesn't have to be like a real email. And it says, okay, please use allowed domains only. So we are still getting the errors, and user is still getting the errors, but he doesn't know what's going on, and he can read that we need just a Gmail or our domain here. So we're gonna add somebody at our domain.com. And now we can see that we have no errors, and this is a valid address. So we can just change this. Okay, Gmail, and we are also get this email validated. So this is it actually when it comes to validating email addresses like this, and adding a specific range of whitelisted email addresses that can be entered by user. So if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one, and thank you for watching. Bye.